Hello. Hello.
1 second, Madam Attorney.
Oh, okay.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our special commission meeting, November 14th, 2025. The time is now 9:06. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Bass.
Here.
Commissioner Irvin.
Here.
Vice Mayor Kelly.
Present.
Commissioner Santiago.
Here.
Mayor Taylor.
Here. As we stand for our invocation, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance. Led by Vice Mayor Kelly.
Eternal God, our Father, we thank you for all the many blessings. We thank you, God, for life, health, and strength. Continue to look on this city. Continue, God, to give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Do those things which are pleasing in your sight. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge of allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now I know what do you need for Christmas gift. He needs that.
All right, we're going to go into our emergency ordinance, which is also a public hearing item. So, Madam Clerk, can you go ahead and read it into record, and we'll take a motion in a second, and then we'll open up for public hearing.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item 5.1, an emergency ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, amending Article 14 entitled Landlord Permit, specifically amending Chapter 13-2743 entitled Landlord Permit Required, to delete all references to the requirement that apartment buildings with 150 or more units have an on-site property manager live on the premises, amending Section 13-278B to delete all requirements that permit applicants with 150 or more apartment units complete a separate form containing the name of the on-site property manager, an acknowledgement that a daily log be kept containing the name of the on-site armed off-duty police officer before a permit shall issue, providing for adoption of representations, providing for conflict and repealer, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for an effective date. This item is sponsored by the City Commission.
All right, can I get a motion? Moved by Vice Mayor Kelly, second by Dr. Bass. This is a public hearing item. Madam Manager, can you quickly summarize it, and then we'll open up for public hearing?
Yes, this item is to amend this section of the city's code to allow the off-duty police officers. We're gonna amend it to remove that section that requires the apartment complexes with 150 units or more to have an off-duty police officer, and we will be bringing something back in the future.
Got it. So this is a public hearing item, and those that are speaking on public hearing, you must remain germane to the topic. We'll open up for discussion in a few minutes. Public hearing is open. One second, Dr. Logan.
490 Opa-locka Boulevard, 33054. Represent CEO 10 North Group. First of all, thank you very much for understanding that this is an emergency, that the lives and futures of families of 216 residents and their families of Opa-locka were at stake and are at stake. And so we appreciate you moving with the urgency that you are moving to ratify what we think is maybe a well-intent but a misplaced implication of this ordinance that you're repealing today. My one concern is that the ordinance that's posted online crosses out Section 3, which means it deletes the requirement to have a on-duty police officer 7 days, 24 hours a day, as the intent was stated by the city manager. However, the package that I've just been given by the city clerk, which may be the package that you have, does not do that. It only removes the section that says we don't have to have a law for the police officer, but it keeps everything else in the requirement to have the police officer. There is no room, and let me assure you, there is no room not to get this right this morning. And so if an amendment needs to be put on the floor, then that's what I suggest. But section 3 is what you need to delete, and that would remove the requirement for units of 154 or more to have a police officer off duty at the premises 24 hours, 7 days a week for 365 days a year, which will result in us having to close the unit, the apartment building down, one which we're about to put $25 million of rehabilitation, new floors, new appliances. Residents are looking forward to coming back to a new home. Instead, in 30 days, they be put on the street. And when it's rehab 15 months from now, who you think is going to be back up in there? And so let me just assure you, this is really, really critical and really, really serious. Now I don't know where the city attorney is, but section 3 needs to be deleted. Not one paragraph that says we don't have to fill out a form to tell you the name of the police officer. And that's all. Go to page 7, section B, section 3, subsection B, second sentence, last 2 lines of that sentence is the only thing that affects what we're asking you to do, which does nothing. And it says, an acknowledgement that a daily log will be kept into containing the name of the on-site off-duty. That's the only thing you're striking. That does nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Thank you, Doctor.
Please delete section 3.
Thank you, Dr. Logan.
Nakia Bowling, 675 Alabama Avenue, 33054. I'm going to yield my time to Dr. Logan.
Got it.
Hi, good morning,
Morning.
Commissioners, Mayor, City Manager. Thank you for allowing me to speak. Kareem Brantley, 14803 Northwest 27th Avenue. I am an owner of property that would be affected by any, whether it's unit count or impositions of law on the property in the city of Opa-locka. You know, I've lived in this city as a kid growing up, or adjacent to the city as a kid growing up. I want nothing better than to have security, opportunity for living in the city of Opa-locka. We want a city that's for everyone, not just for people with high incomes or low incomes, but mixed income everywhere and around. I can assure you that these types of ordinances, whether well-intended or not, are the types of laws that prevent developers like myself from wanting to come and do business inside of the city of Opa-locka. It prevents the growth of the city of Opa-locka. When we built our building, the brand new building that's on 27th Avenue and 147th Street, how much time do I have, Mr. Mayor? Okay, when we built that new building on 27th and 147th, they asked me, did I want to pay property taxes? And this is unusual for a developer. I said, I'm going to pay the taxes. I still have the right to opt out of paying those taxes through a 99-year lease obligation with the state of Florida. We're paying taxes to the city of Opa-locka because I thought that was the right thing to do for the community that supported me as a child growing up. When I see ordinances like this, I really find that they may, again, being well-intentioned, they're really putting a lot of burden. We as developers have to put a lot of guarantees on the line. We have lenders and financiers that are putting out the capital to really do these projects, to run alongside of us. We're bringing the know-how and the ability to execute, to bring these projects to fruition. This is something I can assure you that any funder that I've ever worked with in the 20 years that I've been in real estate development or real estate in general, they will say absolutely not. This will take a pre-development spend of $1 million where we're trying to build a building in the city of Opa-locka, all the way to the point where the lenders say, I don't care how much you have spent, we are out of here. We will not take on this. This type of ordinance goes on the operating budget. It's not on the development budget up front that you spend the money and you develop the building. This is the ongoing operations where we're going to have staff. We're trying to do employment. We're trying to do hiring. This is not the way to enact these types of rules. Let me just wrap with my time and say this. There are plenty of ways for the city of Opa-locka to be very proactive. It's approach to try to prevent something from happening. You have crime prevention through environmental design. We can work with the police department to make sure that we don't have crevices in places. We can design landscaping where it's prohibitive for people to get in there, whether it's a cacti or whatever type of influence you have there. We have license plate readers. On the deal we just did on 14727, we have license plate readers on both sides. We can coordinate with the police department and share that information of those license plate tags, make sure that we don't have, you know, people coming into the city, abusing the city and looking to do negative. So be proactive, don't be reactive.
Thank you, Mr. Bradley. All right, public hearing is open. Public hearing is closed. All right,
Mr. Mayor,
Commissioner Santiago.
yeah, we can go to the comments, no? Regarding about this ordinance. What I see, it is, this is only to make more and to put more weight to the resident and owners of all these properties. What we do is implementing rules that they're gonna affecting. It's gonna affecting the administration on all these buildings and the people that they live there. It's like an association when places have, okay, that they are implementing, you know, rules and all that. And whoever pay that is the people that they live there. And I don't think it's fair that we continue to thinking only about creating some kind of rules that sometimes we try to forcing, you know, owners of property to do things that are coming to our legal department, and sometimes they tell you, no, you can't do that because that's a conflict. Implementing some kind of rule that I want that they hiding a police officer or hiding a company, okay, to security, the facilities that they have. I believe that the city, the administration, the police department, they have to be in charge everywhere in the city when take care of the crimes everywhere that we have. It's not only in this type of places, anywhere. Crime is going to be all over. And that's the responsibility of us. The responsibility of us. Passing this or not take Section 3 is going to create more revenue to the administration of these companies that they try to make Opa-locka a better place for people to come here and live and living. Myself, what I see here, the language that we use, Madam Clerk, repairing is to take everything off what we have there. And that's what I want to say, my colleagues and mayor, I'm not going to support anything that is going to bring any situation, financing situation, especially for the residents, especially for the people that they live there. Because if we implementing something like that, they have to go and get more money to pay all these companies that they're going to hide in another security company, benefits company, private company, or probably, yeah, we're not going to use the police, but we're going to force it to do something that is not appropriate. I believe, though, we have to think in a little bit more before we bring anything like that, and talk first to the resident of the city and to the owners of this property to see how can we working together.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. So Madam Manager, I'm a little confused. The commission was clear. I thought we were clear with that intent. So why isn't it removed, that section?
The city attorney can explain that. This item was prepared by the city attorney.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, everyone. I apologize, I'm not there.
Can you turn, 1 second, Madam Manager, can you turn the volume up? Go ahead, Madam Attorney.
Yes, good morning, everybody. I apologize, I am not there. I'm actually on the way there. Apparently, the express lane was closed on 95, and it's a big traffic jam, and traffic was moving at a snail's pace. In any event, I want to just, I think there is some misunderstanding with this item. This was brought as an emergency item to deal with an emergency issue of apartment buildings over 150 units needing to require a, um, a, security and also a person on site a property manager on site. That's what it was dealing with, and that was the emergency nature. The the area that is being mentioned, and that's why I say I think there's some misunderstanding. The city has a public interest in requiring landlords to have a permit, and that it relates to other things. It's a revenue source. It relates to other issues within your code. So what we focused on, based on the intent of the commission, because what was mentioned in 2020-20, that was an amendment to deal with two issues. And so we pulled these issues out and we struck the issues that dealt with that amendment that was referenced to delete from the ordinance. So what is remaining, and the commission still has an opportunity to delete everything if it wanted to. I don't know, and you may want to check with your manager first to see that if that would be in the best interest of the city. However, to deal with the emergency issue, which has to fall under a specific purpose and, of life, health, safety, etc., that those issues were dealing with the issue of Mr. Logan saying that residents will basically be homeless if if this stayed on the city's books. And so the city was responding to that issue by creating this emergency meeting this morning, and us preparing the ordinance as such. And so the ordinance does not deal with anything that's not the emergency issue. It deals with the emergency issue of what was presented to the commission, how the city generates revenue or maintains an understanding of what the businesses or are operating as complexes that meet that requirement for registration is a different issue. And so, again, I would invite you to, speak with your manager, but you do still have the opportunity, if it is the city's desire, we've already even prepared it, to just strike everything in the ordinance. But when you're being told strike three and there's a problem, no, that's already gone. The issue that you were concerned with is gone. This is what we do for a living. We do it well, and we have prepared the ordinance as we understood the task in front of us. So with that, I'll turn it back over to the mayor. Thank you.
Okay, Madam
Mr. Mayor.
Vice Mayor.
Excuse me. Madam Attorney,
Yes, sir.
based on the section that was referenced from Mr. Logan that needed to be totally deleted, can I hear your response to that again?
Yes, the response is that has nothing to do with his issue, that there would be an ongoing requirement for security on that site, and for him to have that. As I understand the issue, and from the last meeting, he, I understand they're trying to get refinanced, and that is a problem in terms of having this as a condition, because that would go, I guess, with their forma in trying to get this refinancing, and they don't have the funds available to continue to operate to do that. That has nothing.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
It is it that has. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
That
you.
has nothing to do with letting this. That has nothing to do with an application procedure where, the landlord is required to be issued an application and state the different things that are required under that 13.278. That has nothing to do with that. We have addressed the issue that was the emergency issue that the commission was concerned about, which was in that amendment ordinance that was referenced that you all wanted gone. And that language is stricken through. That's all that amendment ordinance dealt with. It didn't change anything else. And so that language is stricken through, it's gone. And so for his concern, and again, I would invite you to ask the manager, how that affects her operations of running the city. But those are management issues. But in terms of the legal issues, we address the legal issues. But because this is an emergency ordinance and your own charter does allow for you to amend that emergency ordinance, it says right there in the in the charter that you can also amend this if you chose to do that. That is within the purview of the commission for this meeting.
Mr. Mayor.
Oh, a second, he still has the floor. Go ahead.
So you basically saying, as you prepared it, it does what needs to be done. Mr. Logan, of course, is
Yes.
saying it doesn't.
Yes, it does what needs to be done. Absolutely, it does.
Okay, so we have a difference of structure, and I want to make sure we leave here with some resolution. And did I hear you clearly, and maybe I didn't, saying that the other option or something we could do was to total repeal, or did I not hear that?
You have already basically repealed it, because this is the only language that was the active language that was addressed in that ordinance that you asked for to be repealed. So that this is the only language. So if you have if you wanted it all out, I'm assuming this is the one that we sent to the clerk. But if you wanted it all stricken, even the area that requires landlords to get a permit, then that could be taken out. But that wasn't the emergency issue that was before the commission. The emergency issue wasn't that the landlords being required to get a permit. The emergency issue was the issue dealing with the apartment buildings with the city of 150 or more being required to have on-site property managers who have to live on the premises.
Oh, okay, Mr. Mayor, I will yield for the moment because I want the manager to think about that last part and be able to respond back to me in a second. So I'll yield for a moment because I know my colleagues have questions, but I want to be able to address that particular point of a total repeal while you're thinking about it, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Commissioner Kelly, Commissioner
Santiago.
Santiago.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I heard the city attorney say the community require that. Or what part of the community require that, type of rules to coming to us, and we coming with all these items today? What
I'm not sure
community?
what you're saying, Commissioner
No, wait a
Santiago.
minute. The people that they are present here today requiring that? Because for me, I don't think so.
No,
I don't hear anything about that before.
no, what was requested from Mr. Logan when he came before, he said that it was onerous for him to have this requirement that over apartment buildings of over 150 or more units have to have these this on-site property manager and security, right? That's what he is asking you to remove. That's what this ordinance removes. So I think there was a misunderstanding.
Probably, but another question that I have for the manager, Madam Manager. We are the only city, that's what I heard around that we are the only city have that kind of ordinance here in Dade County.
That I don't know. I have.
What do you mean you
also-
don't know? No, that's what
I have
I want
also
an
heard the
answer
same
for that.
thing, that all the other municipalities does not require the apartments.
All
to
the
have an
municipality that not
off-duty
required.
police.
Okay, all right.
I have heard that.
Good.
And we are
But
researching.
I don't want to be the first one in Dade County if we have rules already done in Dade and in Dade County and the state. I believe this is something when we're talking about permit, what kind of permit that they would require for that? They already have permit for buildings and all that here approved in the city. What kind of permit they need? For who? To hide in private company?
No, this ordinance also deals with them needing the necessary landlord tenant permits.
Okay, that's
If it's
good. Well,
repealed in its entirety, they will not be required to do that. And I believe that's what the city attorney was trying to say.
yeah, but I believe that any units that I know here in Opa-locka, they more have they have in place, that type of permits. Many of them, everybody have it.
Yes.
That's the law. Okay. Let me listen what my colleague had to say about it. But like I said again, I don't want to be the first city to rule, okay, that type of things here when the residents, all the people that they own that type of business in Opa-locka. I don't think it's fair at all.
Okay, Dr. Logan, what section are you referring to? And Madam Attorney, I want to be clear. I understand where you all are coming from with the landlord permit, but the commission was clear. We wanted to repeal the entire ordinance, and then you all wait till today to spring this on us. That's
Okay. Mr.
Madam
Mayor,
Attorney.
I'll give you the section and the subsection. It's really just a paragraph. It's not, you don't have to delete the entire section 13. But I think it's really important to say that in all due respect, the city attorney is incorrect. We never asked you about the live-in property manager. We never asked you about the permit. We never asked you about the requirement to submit the form. The only thing we asked you is to delete the requirement to have a off-duty police officer 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. To do that, and I'm not a lawyer, but I have been a lawmaker, all you need to do is strike, delete section 13-274 paren 3. If you get rid of that, the problem goes away. And if that goes away, of course we won't have to fill out the building permit for it because there's no thing that requires to have it. Of course we won't have to fill out the form because there's no thing that have. So she's dealing with the symptoms versus the problem. The problem is the requirement to have the off-duty officer. You all were very clear. I've read the tapes, heard the tapes, and have an audience of people here, the board and staff people who serve these folks. So you all were very clear. And it does not take rocket science to put strikes through 3 or 4 lines in a paragraph to get to the meat of what we're talking about. It doesn't. And sometimes you have to have things like this to come to root to understand what a clog in the pipe may be.
Mr. Mayor.
I'm sorry. Section, can you say what the section again, please?
Section 13-274 paren 3 in section 3. So a subset.
That reads all apartment buildings within the city of 150 or more units shall be stricken. It's stricken. It's stricken. It's stricken.
It's strict.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Vice Mayor Kelly?
let me add some context because I know we want to get to where we get to. I was obviously the sponsor of this amendment back in along with Vice Mayor Davis at the time, because of the challenge we were having with apartment buildings, excuse me, with apartment buildings and the like. And although Mr. Logan was not in charge of that apartment building over there, we were having challenge with a lot of apartment buildings. And that's why the law was put there. And I'm trying to be delicate in my response because even I heard Mr. Brantley come up. We still have some challenges. But in order to deal with the current issue, that's why I propose doing away with it and let the manager work on something to come back. Because although you may have or you may do the right thing, I'm not convinced every owner is going to do it. So I don't want to be a blanket statement thinking, I want to be very clear. I understand what we're trying to do, which I support wholeheartedly. That's why I've been working at it. But there are owners. There are folks who build who planned to build, and tomorrow they're gone. And we're left with the challenge of public safety and all those issues. And at that point in time, that's why that was created. So I just want to add that as context, not so much for this particular situation because it's unique, but I do want to circle back after my colleagues have any comments, Mr. Mayor, back to the manager on the answer I was looking for. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner Irvin?
Okay. I would like for us, the part that we're going to stricken out, I would like for us to revisit it. And I don't think it should be solely on the duties of the manager to come up with answers for us, because we have apartment complexes that we all know that need police officers around the clock. We do have buildings that need it. So at some time, we do need to come back, maybe in a workshop form with the manager, because it shouldn't be solely on her, to come up with a solution for us for our apartments that definitely need security.
Yeah, you and Vice Mayor are saying the exact same thing. That's what
Yes.
he wanted to address.
Only thing is, he said the manager to go. I don't
Okay.
agree with just the manager doing it. I think it should be a collaboration of all of us.
Okay. Well,
Mr.
one
Mayor,
second, 1 second. So what I'm looking at here, based on what the attorney gave, and this is true, I will offer my apology, Madam Attorney.
Thank you. I accept your apology because that
It
was
is-
rough yesterday.
It is stricken. It says what she has, section 13274, section 3, all apartment buildings within the city with 150 or more units shall be required to have an on-site property manager who shall live on premises and be responsible for the residents for addressing life, health, and safety issues. In addition, armed off-duty police officer security shall be required to protect the life, health, and safety of tenants. So that is being removed.
Yeah, if I may just, that's what I said was online. When I first started, I said what was online was that. What I was handed and what I was afraid in front of you all was something different. And I just wanted to make sure you all were going by what was online and not here. And I just wanted that said for the record.
Yeah, it's here.
What you
It's
have
here.
in front of you, when I asked for a copy of this, because you
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
just to clarify,
But this wasn't.
no, what I gave you, there's an attachment of a previous ordinance, and you may be looking at that previous ordinance because I gave you the entire package. I also provided to the commission,
All right.
which is
So,
an ordinance from 2020.
Madam Attorney, I do apologize.
Thank you, Mr.
I
Mayor.
do
That was very
apologize.
rough yesterday
do
while I was sick. Thank you.
I do apologize. So for the record, it is stricken. Now, I think 'cause you're not the only apartment complex that is listening. So Opa-locka, agree with Vice Mayor and Commissioner Irvin. We do need to address this. And I know Vice Mayor is saying he's going to bring it back, but I do like the workshop form that we do
Yes.
need to address this. Because security, we got to protect our people. And we understand that we also have to support our business owners, but we also have fiduciary responsibility to our residents. And safety is important here in Opa-locka. So yes, we're doing this. Well, I'm supporting. However, in the very near future, we need to bring this back up as a conversation piece. All right.
Mr. Mayor,
1 sec.
I had motioned to you to be acknowledged and it didn't happen.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
But I wanted to say exactly what Commissioner Irvin said about workshopping this. Pass it now, workshop it, and we go back and see what's good for our community and not the stipulations are so high where we cannot have investors to come into our city. I think it's imperative that we work together as mayor, commission, and the city manager's office to make sure that we do this and we do it well, so we don't have to go through this again. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. Santiago.
Yeah, the only thing that I want to know, the gentleman there, he asked, well, it's okay. No, not a problem. I with my colleagues, and I'm gonna support, what Commissioner Irvin said, that we have to be together, but together with the community to discuss anything that we try to do. Because it's not only the government rules, we have to counter with them. They are the taxpayer. That's the people that we have to listen because they're keeping us here.
All
Thank
right.
you.
And I know you still had the floor, Vice Mayor.
I got the flow. I still got the flow.
You still got the.
We done things all around, but that's bad. I do appreciate my colleagues and the intent was, Commissioner Urban Bass, that we would have a workshop. But I wanted the manager, before we got to that point, to pull all the data out of all the apartment complexes, because we're not just talking about 150 or 99, and that's the reason I pulled the other one, because we do need to have that discussion and meeting with her and talk to the CR director, because we do recognize potential growth and development. So the point is well taken. I just want to make sure we had a workshop. We got all the data in front of us, because some of us know, like you said, the units that are, and some of them may have challenges we don't even recognize. So as the mayor mentioned, folks are watching, and so be on alert that we are going to address this. So Madam Manager, whenever you get to that point to have the data, to have that workshop, and of course the city attorney needs to be involved as well, the office. And I would just say as a caveat, because we're doing something holistic for the entire city, that we make the CRA a part of that workshop as well, because we know they're doing some development potentially to sit in, at least, make sure at least sit in. All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Open the question.
All right, yeah, because it's been the longest 5-minute meeting.
Yes, call me.
Yeah,
The
man.
longest
I have to
5-minute
go back to
meeting.
work.
Commissioner Irvin said we all go to her house. She got chicken in the oven. Madam Clerk, can we call the question?
Commissioner Irvin,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kelly,
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago.
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right.
Move
Can I
it.
get a motion?
Move it.
Move by Vice Mayor Kelly, second by Commissioner Santiago. This meeting is adjourned.